Stop waiting to become a better version of yourself. You are not waiting for the right moment. You are not waiting for more time. You are not waiting for things to calm down. You are waiting because waiting feels safer than starting. And that is the most dangerous lie you will ever tell yourself. Here is what nobody tells you about self-improvement. It is not about becoming someone else. It is not about fixing what is broken in you. It is about uncovering who you were always meant to be, before the world told you to be something else, before the fear crept in, before the comparison started, before you decided that who you are right now is as good as it gets. It is not, and deep down, you already know that. The first truth, identity. The first truth that you need to understand is about identity. Most people try to change their behavior without changing their identity. They say, I want to exercise more. I want to read more. I want to be more disciplined. But they still see themselves as someone who is lazy, someone who is undisciplined, someone who is not the kind of person who does those things. And here's the problem. Your actions will always follow your identity, not your goals, your identity. James Clear understood this deeply when he wrote Atomic Habits. He said, every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. You want to become a reader? Start voting. Read one page. You want to become someone who is fit? Start voting. Take one walk. The goal is not the behavior. The goal is to become the kind of person who does that behavior naturally. Identity first. Behavior follows. The second truth, systems versus goals. The second truth is about systems versus goals. You do not rise to your goals. You fall to your systems. Think about that for a moment. Two people set the same goal, to get fit. One person relies on motivation and willpower. The other builds a system. They lay out their workout clothes the night before. They schedule their sessions. They make it so easy to start that the only hard part is stopping. When motivation runs out, and it always runs out, the first person fails, the second person succeeds. Not because they are more talented, not because they want it more, but because they built a system that works, even when they do not feel like it. Your goals tell you where you want to go. Your systems determine whether you actually get there. The third truth, discomfort. The third truth is about discomfort. And this one is the one that separates people who actually change from people who just talk about changing. Every meaningful improvement in your life lives on the other side of discomfort. Every single one. You want better relationships? You will have to have uncomfortable conversations. You want better health? You will have to do things your body resists. You want to grow professionally? You will have to attempt things you might fail at in front of people. Most people know this, and most people spend their entire lives avoiding it anyway. They want the result without the resistance. They want the harvest without the hard season. It does not work that way. It has never worked that way. The discomfort is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that something is growing. The moment you stop interpreting discomfort as danger and start interpreting it as data, as evidence that you are in the process of becoming, everything changes. The fourth truth, comparison. The fourth truth is about comparison, and this one might be the one that is quietly destroying your progress the most. Every time you look at someone else who is further along than you and feel inadequate, you are comparing your chapter 1 to their chapter 20. You are seeing the result of years of invisible work, failed attempts, painful seasons, and relentless showing up. And you are measuring your beginning against their accumulation. That comparison is not just unfair, it is a form of self-sabotage. The only comparison that will ever move you forward is this one. Who were you yesterday, and who are you today? Are you slightly more knowledgeable, slightly more disciplined, slightly more honest with yourself? That is the game, not their highlight reel versus your behind the scenes. Your yesterday versus your today. The fifth truth, Consistency over intensity. The fifth truth is about consistency over intensity. The person who works out moderately 3 times a week for 2 years will always outperform the person who goes hard for 2 weeks and burns out. The person who reads 10 pages every day will finish more books in a year than the person who reads 200 pages in a weekend and then does not pick up a book for 3 months. We live in a world that celebrates intensity. That glorifies the massive effort, the dramatic transformation, the before and after. But transformation is almost never dramatic. It is almost always quiet, consistent, and invisible, until suddenly it is not. The compound effect is real. Small actions performed consistently over time produce results that look miraculous from the outside, but feel inevitable from the inside. Start embarrassingly small. Stay embarrassingly consistent. Let the compounding do what compounding does. The sixth, truth self-compassion. The sixth truth is about self-compassion as a performance tool, not a comfort tool. Most people think that being hard on themselves is what drives improvement, and there is a version of accountability that is healthy and necessary. But relentless self-criticism is not accountability. It is paralysis, with a productivity costume on. Research, actual scientific research, consistently shows that people who practice self-compassion after failure are more likely to try again, more likely to take responsibility, and more likely to grow than people who beat themselves up. Not because self-compassion lets you off the hook, but because self-compassion keeps you in the game. You cannot improve yourself if you have destroyed your relationship with yourself. You cannot build anything on a foundation of self-hatred. Be honest with yourself about where you fall short. And then, be kind enough to yourself to get back up and try again. The final truth, the direction. The seventh truth, and the one that ties everything together, is that self-improvement is not a destination. It is a direction. There is no finish line where you become the final version of yourself and stop. The work does not end. The growth does not stop. And that is not a burden. That is the most liberating thing you can understand about this journey. Because it means you are never behind. You are never too late. You are never too broken or too far from where you want to be. You are exactly where you are. And you have the ability, right now in this moment, to take one step in the direction of who you want to become. Not 10 steps, not 100. One. Today, the person you are becoming does not require a perfect past. They only require a willing present. So, stop waiting. The best version of you is not waiting at some distant finish line. It is built. One choice, one day, one decision at a time. Starting now.